Hello everyone, welcome back to another showcase video, and today's video is going to be showcasing two PC multiplayer games. The first one is called Hunt Showdown, the other one is called Satisfactory. I like to produce showcase videos which are not reviews or in-depth analysis, just a brief overview of videos I like to live stream from time to time. I hope you enjoy it. First off, what is Hunt Showdown? Hunt Showdown was developed by Crytek in Frankfurt, Germany. And what was Hunt Showdown originally called? It was called Horrors of the Gilded Age. And Hunt Showdown was originally in development by Crytek USA, who wanted to create a spiritual successor to Darksiders series. I believe there's three. This video game series was developed by their predecessor, Vigil Games, under the original title, Hunt, Horrors of the Gilded Age. It was envisioned to be a sort of cooperative multiplayer game. Now, taking a look at the list of the Crytek games, you will see very familiar games like the Crysis series and, of course, Far Cry, and many other games as well. So, Hunt Showdown, basically, the summary is sort of, the game is set in a nightmarish sort of monsters and sort of mythical creatures, kind of like maybe like Bloodborne in a way, in the Louisiana swamps. Very atmospheric, and you are kind of part of a sort of rogue or rugged bounty hunters who are paid to get rid of these sort of ghastly monsters and other creatures, banish these creatures from that Louisiana swamp world, and you'll be able to be paid very generously, lots of money, collect your bounty, and you're given a chance to buy even more gruesome and powerful weapons as a result of getting this bounty. But if you fail and you die, they'll strip you of your character that you chose. I mean, you can go into the character screen and collect or select a character, but unfortunately, if you die, you give up that character. But don't worry, your experience will remain in your, quote, bloodline of hunters called the Bloodline. And the Bloodline is basically a sort of core of the sort of progressive system in Hunt Showdown. Bloodline experience, or XP, is acquired by leveling up hunters. And in quick play or bounty hunt, whatever the game mode is, and you can level up your character and to very high level hunters. And basically that's how the game is ranked, and you can upgrade various traits and equipment unlocks and get all kinds of other goodies of your character. But unfortunately, if you die, you give up your character and you have to buy a new character. And you keep your XP, but you only keep about like half of your XP. It carries over to the new character you have to buy. So it's kind of a weird system, but it is what it is. That kind of its negative aspect, but it's highly competitive. 2-on-2 PvP and PvE elements. But basically, you go into a situation where it's very high risk, you get a high reward. So it creates very high tension. So that's basically how it works. Progression, like I said, even when you die, you're able to progress among the ranks of other hunters via your bloodline, i.e. your XP. Through one character may die, their XP will be transferred to your bloodline, but only half the XP. So one thing you can do is that if you make it off the map alive, you can collect your bounty. But another weird thing is that you can extract without having to defeat the monster. So you can just extract, collect your half the bounty, whatever the bounty and XP, and then leave. Then you don't give up your character. But if you choose to continue on and not extract early, and you die, you give up all your weapons. A little bag there, and if you can respawn, you can go back and collect your little bag of whatever your weapons you had that you used. So it does transfer, the XP does transfer over, and you can collect your goodies after you die, but unfortunately, you do give up your character, and you'll have to purchase another character. So that's how the game kind of works, the core mechanics. I'll get into my opinion in a little bit here. You have something called Dark Sight, which allows hunters to see into sort of what they call the veil of between the different dark worlds and the light worlds. And the dark side is basically, that's right, X-ray vision. So basically you can use this X-ray vision to find hints of where the monster was or last location, and you can follow those hints, follow those clues to track down the monster on the map. But also you're fighting against other factions, other sort of rogue hunters. 2-on-2, there could be 5 groups of 2-on-2, all fighting vie for control. Now, if you kill the monster and decide to collect your bounty, well, everybody, they have this system where everybody on the map is going to know about this and all verge on to the spot where you killed the monster. And everybody knows where the bounty is, and you got to wait there for like 2 minutes or so to fully collect your bounty. And in the meantime, there are going to be people that are waiting for you, and other players too, and they'll shoot and kill you. So basically, the downside of this game, and that's one of them, is the sort of camping element. The other players are just going to sit there and just camp while you're waiting to collect your bounty. You're waiting 2 minutes there, and other people are going to be, other players, PvP or PvE, are going to merge on this section, this area where the bounty is being collected. Everybody sees it on the map, but they're just going to sit there and camp. So it encourages camping, and it is kind of a weird system, because if you and your teammate are kind of on the impression that you've killed everybody and you can collect your bounty, but as you're leaving, or one of your teammates is leaving, there may be one other person camping there, and headshot, you're dead, and then you give up your bounty. So that's kind of the downside of it. So you don't really, the other downside is that you actually don't have to kill the monster, which is weird. You can just extract the character, and it preserves your character, and you can level up and collect your money. You don't really have to worry about it too much. The other negative aspect of this is that this is what it should have been. Instead of a PvP or PvE, 5 groups of 2, they should have made it like a class system, more kind of like akin to maybe like Wolfenstein Enemy Territory or Return to Castle Wolfenstein, anything sort of class system like that. So you have various classes with various skills. That would make it more have more depth to it. And also what would add to the depth and the atmosphere to the game, because it already has brilliant atmosphere in the Louisiana swamps there, very foggy, and they do fire elements. It's really atmospheric. What would make it more atmospheric would maybe that the monster itself should interact out in the world instead of in the dark world. It should interact in the outside world and interact with other players that are on the map trying to collect this bounty. I think that would be more interesting instead of going through this sort of dark world, light world. But that's just me, and that's what I would prefer. But anyway, I will be live streaming this game in the future. I hope you enjoyed this little showcase of Hunt Showdown, and we'll be moving on to the next game. Okay, next is Satisfactory, a PC game that started development in 2016 by Coffee Stain Studios, famous for their Goat Simulator game and Sanctum. Basically, the story behind Satisfactory is very simple. You're a player, or pioneer, or survivor that is sent down onto several different planets of different difficulty with a bunch of tools, and you must sort of harvest the planet's natural resources to construct increasingly more complex factories for all automating needs. And basically, the initial goal is to build your space elevator and begin supplying the company with all kinds of stuff. Well, computers, actually. The company is called Fists, I think it's called. And we don't know anything about the company. You know, it's a mystery. Why were you sent down there? And were you hired? Are you a private contractor? There isn't really much to go on. It's a very simple story. And it's actually a very relaxing game, because basically you're in charge of creating these giant machines with conveyor belts, and they're supposed to manufacture these goods, and you connect to the corporation with the space elevator and send up all these computers and everything up to the company for whatever reason. We have no idea why they want all these computers. So basically, Satisfactory. Let me go into a little more details here. It's a planet exploitation game, of course, and you work for the company, like I said. And with the with this player, you are armed with some kind of weapon, but it's like a taser weapon, and so. But the thing is, you don't really need lots of different kinds of high-powered weapons, because most of the animals and creatures you encounter in this game are very benign. Yeah, they're just very easy to kill. There's not a lot of challenge. In fact, they pose no threat to your base. Once you start building your factory and your conveyor belts and increase the clock speed to maximize efficiency, there is no threat to your machines at all by these monsters. There's no PvP or PvE attacks or like they do in a lot of other survival games where you can invade a base and destroy it, but you don't have to worry about that. It's just you, and you can play with other players. You can get a few other players, with maybe 4, I think, is the maximum, but it depends. And yeah, it is fun with other players. You can work more efficiently that way. And there are other places to explore on these planets. Like, for example, one thing I didn't know about this game was that there are some caves, actually. There's the little caves on these planets you can go exploring, and those can be quite dangerous. A little more dangerous than the outside world, but still, it doesn't pose like imminent threat like, say, Ark Survival or other survival games in the same genre. And so, yeah, and that's what makes it kind of relaxing. They're caves, they're monsters, and the creatures really aren't that hard to defeat, and really, there's not really no worries, to worry about base attacking or base raiding at all. It's a very relaxing, calm game. And the other thing about this game that's good about it is that the devs are really on top of things. They're always active on Twitter and on YouTube channels, so they're good at handling these kind of things. And there's plenty of tutorials to watch and learn from, even speed running as well. And it isn't not a very one thing about it, it's not a very steep learning curve how to play the game, because there's a lot of hand-holding going on. It shows you it'll show you what needs to be constructed, what your goal is. You can choose what kind of goals you can, or what kind of thing you can construct. There's also research involved. If you collect some materials, you don't know what it is, you can put it in the research computer and it'll research it and it will tell you what you can use it for. So there is still a lot of hand-holding throughout most of the game, and but the part that is probably the most difficult about it isn't the gameplay itself. It is actually connecting all the power grids and setting up your factory and making work efficiency and make sure the conveyor belts are running into the machines and all that. You probably have to get your little notepad and paper out. Notepad and paper? How about notepad and pencil? We get extra paper. And so you get your notepad and your pencil out, and you might want to try to figure out how you want to make your power grid, or there is some calculating involved there. That's the most challenging aspect of the game. But other than that, I'd recommend this game, and go check out Coffee Studios and other games too, like Goat Simulator as well. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed today's video of Hunt Showdown and Satisfactory, a dual showcase video. And if you like this kind of content and wish to support the channel, go check out my subscribe star and make a donation if you like. Any donation is welcome. And that's about it, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.